They called me a daughter of the storm, born under the scream of the northern wind, with a sword-shaped birthmark on my shoulder and a stare that made grown men turn their eyes. My father, a Jarl, taught me to swing a blade before I learned to braid my hair. My mother died young, leaving only her seeks, the dagger of her people, and stories of the old gods who walked among warriors. I trained beside boys who mocked me until their ribs cracked under my elbow. I learned to ride, to throw an axe, to chant battle cries in the tongue of Odin. My shield bore the Wolf of Fenrir, not for rage, but for knowing no chains could hold me. When I turned 15, I joined my father on a raid across the narrow sea. Blood soaked my first shield. I didn't flinch. That's when they stopped calling me a girl and started calling me Lagertha. By 20, I was leading my own warband. Men followed me not out of pity or novelty, but because I never lost. I earned their loyalty, not with softness but with scars. I fought like a berserker, yet my eyes were always clear, cold as the fjords. But even the fiercest warrior isn't immune to love. And that was my first mistake. Ragnar was sunlight after battle, a son of a minor chieftain, clever with words and quicker with his axe. I met him after a duel, when his brother challenged me to single combat over land. I won. Easily. Ragnar didn't care. He said I moved like poetry and smelled like victory. I laughed in his face, but he kept coming back, not with flattery, but with questions. He asked me about my dreams, my fears. He said he didn't want a wife to warm his hearth. He wanted a queen beside him. I was 22 when we wed. Together, we carved a path of fire through kingdoms. With Ragnar at my side, we took 6 villages in one season. He said he'd never love another. He promised me a legacy. Children with blades in their blood and runes in their bones. For a time, I believed him, but the gods love their riddles, and men love their lies. It began with whispers, a concubine in the eastern camp, a girl named Aslaug, young, pale, her wound full. I laughed. I'd heard rumors before. Women threw themselves at Ragnar. He said I was the only one who made his blood sing. Then he came home from a raid with silence in his eyes. He wouldn't meet my gaze when he spoke of the victory. He flinched when I touched his face. He smiled. But it was the smile of a wolf with meat stuck in its teeth. One night, I followed him. I rode alone to the river where he bathed. And I saw her, Aslaug, washing his hair, singing to him. He was some broken boy. He kissed her belly. My blood froze. I didn't confront him that night. I didn't scream. I went home and sharpened every weapon I owned. When he returned, I said nothing. I gave him one final night in my bed. He thought it was forgiveness. It was a farewell. Ragnar made his choice, and I made mine. I left at dawn with my riders. I took half the warband, the most loyal, the ones who still believed in me. We didn't fight him, not yet. I wouldn't give him that glory. Instead, I took back every village I'd conquered with him. I claimed the lands as mine, left his banners burning in the mud. I made alliances with his enemies, not out of desperation, but out of strategy. I sent word to King Horik, who hated Ragnar. I offered my sword. He asked for proof. I gave it in blood. I led an ambush on Ragnar's men and left only one alive, to tell him I had returned as a storm. Then, I sent him a gift, his own axe, wrapped in the shirt I wore on our wedding night. Covered in ash, he didn't come for me. He sent envoys, begged me to return, said Aslaug was nothing, that he needed me. I said nothing. When he finally appeared before me, beard grown wild, eyes haunted, I didn't raise my blade. I raised my crown. I was Jarl now, queen of 5 villages, Shield-Maiden of the people. He dropped to one knee and asked for forgiveness. I leaned in close and whispered, "You knelt too late." Ragnar died 2 winters later, poisoned by one of Aslaug's rivals. She bore him sons, and they grew to be warriors, but none carried his heart. They carried ambition, madness, prophecy. They fought for thrones he never truly owned. As for me, I never married again. I led raids till my hair turned silver. I trained girls to fight. Girls who once thought war was for men. I showed them how betrayal can be a weapon, too. They say I died in battle. They say Odin himself came for me. That I drank mead in Valhalla with the Einherjar. But I didn't fight for gods. I fought for me. I was born in blood. Baptized in betrayal. Crowned in vengeance. They remember Ragnar, because he chased glory. They remember me, because I never let betrayal define me. I defined it. And when they chant my name in the longhouses, they say it with fear, with respect. And sometimes, with regret. I was Lagertha, Shield-Maiden, Queen, Widowmaker. If this story made you stop and think, you're not alone. So many people have experienced betrayal from the very people they were taught to trust the most. And sometimes, the hardest thing you'll ever do is walk away. But your peace is worth protecting. Want more real-life betrayal and revenge stories? Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and turn on notifications.